God, it's some slippery out again.
Yeah, Lisa just messaged me, she says really slippery out.
He won't be. So Craig said.
Yeah, Councillor Goss not coming.
Trina hasn't logged in yet, has she?
6:29. Be out here by 7. 6:15, I'm all in line.
Time zone.
Patrick's back.
So slippery last Thursday evening.
Trina's in the waiting room.
We're live now? All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our regular public council meeting for Monday, January 8th, 2024. It's our first meeting of the new year. And right off the bat, welcome everybody. Happy New Year. New business. Councillor Tapper.
Pass.
Councillor Manning.
Best wishes.
Okay. Councillor Pollard.
Pass.
Councillor Appleby.
No, if I could, Councillor Elizabeth Lorian Curtis, please.
Okay. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you and condolences.
All right, I just got to thank you. All righty, we didn't receive any email questions. Okay, I just want to remind people, if you are going to send in a question for the public council meeting, please send it to the clerk and Pico at apico@torway.ca. Don't send it to me because I might miss it and it might not get picked up, which happened at our last meeting before the holidays. Alrighty, could I get a motion to adopt the agenda as amended, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried. Thank you very much. Alrighty, we have public council minutes for December 11th, 2023. Could I get a motion to adopt those, please?
So moved. Second.
Moved, seconded. Any errors or omissions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right, conflict of interest. This was sent out. I don't know, Rhonda and Trina, if you got a copy, but it's...
I do.
You did? Okay, good enough. So if you have any issues around there, raise it at that point. We have no proclamations, no presentations, no Q&A. Business arising report. Does anybody have anything on there that they...
Could I speak to it if I could?
You indeed, sir, you can.
There's a couple of things, actually. In a conversation with Deputy Mayor last week, the issue of the emergency preparedness plan, or lack thereof, came up. Now, I went into Business Arising thinking that there should be something noted, because this goes back to 2017, right? But I couldn't find anything anyway. Maybe I missed it, I'm not sure. But it is a big issue, because, and again, I got to apologize for this as well, because even during my term, you know, which ended in 2017, we talked about it back then. But unfortunately, it was never carried through for...
But that plan has since been updated. We just haven't did the desktop exercise yet.
Yes, well, that's what is still long overdue.
Right, no, I agree.
You know, and it should be noted somewhere, you know,
Yes.
as a carry forward, right? So anyway, that was one issue, and hopefully, you know, we'll do that, because again, it's
Okay.
long overdue.
Yeah, we discussed it at our committee this morning, I said the HR
Oh,
committee this
good,
morning, so
okay.
it's on the radar.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other point I wanted to make was that, you know, if you look at this, this report, or the Business Horizon report, there's a lot of things still there that shouldn't be there, you know, and I think, you know, there's different departmental names and, you know, personnel names on it. And I think it's time for us to go through that, because really, we never do touch base on anything since came back here anyway, in 2 years, really. But there's things there, like I say, going back to 2017, and, you know, and, but it could be, because I think it makes us look bad if somebody did read it, and you got all of these things listed so long, and they were never followed through on, right? So I think it's time for a review by our staff, just to go in and have a look and see if we could update it at least.
I thought that our, each department, any issue that was related to them, they included it in their agenda. So once that happens, maybe it could be noted in here that it's on the agenda or wherever it is.
Yeah, there should be some update to
Yeah.
it, that's what I'm saying, or removed altogether
Or removed,
if
yeah.
it's finished.
Yeah, fair enough.
Now, that's just what I found, maybe I'm wrong, but,
Brian, is there something you want to say about that?
Yeah, so, so the emergency plan, that is, like I said, that was updated a couple of years ago. We just haven't done a tabletop exercise.
yeah.
And over the last year or so, I guess, myself and former CAO and Director of HR and Director of Corporate Community Services, we've been meeting with Caitlin Yard from Fire Emergency Services. So we're working through that as well, right? So that's like that's a group effort, right? As for the Business Rising, I always bring those into the backside of my reports, and I think most other departments are doing the same. And Ann sends out things after every meeting to cross those off as they're done, right? So
Okay.
I'm not sure everybody else is doing it, that's the way I'm
So
doing
Brian,
it.
when,
Sorry.
because and you say, okay, that it's updated, but when are we supposed to get a copy of the updated emergency plan? Because I know the last time that came forward, there was a lot more updates that, like with COVID and Snowmageddon, that they wanted to include in it that wasn't included in it before.
Yep.
And I know that it had gone back, but I'm thinking like it was last April or May sometime, last that it came back to us. So when do you think that we might be actually seeing a copy of that? Because I do know myself and Councillor Manning and Mark attended training, and then there was another training session. We were supposed to go back, but all of staff, or at least the directors and council, were supposed to participate in some training on that, and it was supposed to be a command center and that up at the depot. That was all stuff that
Yep.
past CAO brought back to us. Because I had asked there, I think how it came up, Councillor Tapper the other day, if there was money in the budget for that command center and that to be put up at the depot. Because I guess when we attended the training, the intent was potentially for us to be a command center for all the communities down here where we had it up at the depot. We said we were going to do it, so I'm just wondering, you know, because I listened, I guess, to the national or what have you there over Christmas, and the federal government was asked how come they didn't get involved with making a decision in one of the provinces about calling it not a disaster, but an emergency, and they said that basically that the first response has to come from the municipality.
That's right.
And, you know, with different things happening, because we were supposed to have a desk exercise and then a mock disaster the past, is it 6 or 7 years?
Beyond that.
Yeah, it is, that's,
I
you
think
know.
the plan has to be updated before that. And again, it's not my plan, it's everybody's plan at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And like I said, we were working towards, I'll just go through emails as you were talking here. So the last correspondence that we had with Caitlin was back in July of last year. So like I say, Mark and the former CAO were sort of spearheading that along the way, right? So we're meeting, and we did some incident command Services Course America, I think it was called. We done those as well, right?
All right,
So-
so we'll just let you
Can I
guys
speak
take.
for a second here?
Sure.
Is that, thank you. I just wanted to know, at one point in previous life in a consulting world, I used to work with municipalities to build these plans. And there's a couple of things that I heard there. My understanding is that Fire and Emergency Services, they set up the framework for what needs to be done for those plans. And it's my understanding that they're supposed to be reviewed, signed off, each year with the municipality and Fire and Emergency Services. The deputy mayor brings up a really good point when she talks about regional planning, but if we're talking about setting up a command center, that command center would be designated in the plan for where it would be. But the idea of setting up a regional command center is definitely a conversation that I think we should have, but that would also imply having each community and their community plan brought into a regional conversation of how they do that. Because and as you were talking about ICS training, incident command training, there's a framework in place for who the incident commander is, who comes in, who does what, the plan lines all that out. That's one thing at a municipal level, but it's another complete conversation to do at a regional level. Not to say we shouldn't do it, I think it's a great idea and a great conversation to have to folks. So definitely something to put back on the agenda that relies on and have that bigger conversation about it. The other point I want to make real quickly was around the Business Horizon Report. My understanding always was that that was put there so we could track what's ongoing and that staff would update it after each meeting or when things were resolved. So I think it's a very good point that Councillor Tapper raises in, the review, understanding of how it's to function and make sure that it's functioning effectively. Thank you.
All right, okay, thank you. So with regards to those two items, we'll leave that. Sandy, you can check out the World War II with the emergency plan.
Yeah, we're working on that
Work
actually,
with-
yeah.
Work with staff and get that all figured
Yeah,
out.
absolutely. That's on the radar right now.
All right, perfect, thank you. All right,
Thank you.
correspondence, CIB program, Communities in Bloom program, I received. Come on, clicky. So I received this back in December, I asked to add it to the agenda. So we'll forward that on to the appropriate committee. I think it's, I don't know if that's,
It's recreation.
it's recreation
And
thing.
it's included in your report.
Okay, perfect. All right. And we have some information here for information purposes from FCM, board documents, and report to council. And we have an approval letter from Department of Municipal Affairs to do with the sports infrastructure and strong cities and communities. What is that?
That's the former gas tax program.
Oh, I see, okay, all right, yeah. And the other part is for our water distribution system. It's all good. That's been forwarded on to where it gotta go, and we got an update here from Municipal Assessment Agency, an update on the MAA for our information. Perfect, all right.
Just, sorry, Russ, can I interrupt?
Go ahead.
On the Canadian Canada Community Building Fund and the dollars associated with it, we had this discussion at budget time as well, and we did include the remaining amounts for what was left over in the fund for gas tax between now and March 2024 as a general covering of some of the projects. I just wondered if it's possible for us to get an update from finance as to exactly what that looks like in terms of dollars, what projects that's gonna be cost, and where they stand in process, right? Because I know it says $190,000 left there that we have to allocate something between now and the end of March. And I don't know if we've got what's in the hopper, what's submitted. I just wanna make sure that we're on top of the $190,000 is already, I guess.
Right.
And that it's valid, because we did have some discussion around the validity of it, and I think Norm went back and said, yes, it applies to this, this, and this, but it'd be nice to actually see where that $190,000 is, so that we
Okay.
can.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. All right, committees of council, committee of the whole, we don't have anything. Planning, land use development, Councilor Pollard.
Thank you, Your Worship. It's a short one again this time, not that we didn't discuss a lot of things, because if you look at the minutes, there are a lot of things in the hopper that will be coming forward over the next couple of months, I guess. So the first one relates to a home office, a rental management company at 1455 Torbay Road. We didn't see any issues with it. So the committee recommends the motion to conditionally approve application BR 2023-015 for proposed home use office at 1455 Torbay Road in accordance with regulations 33 and 90 of the Torbay Development Regulations 2015 to 2025. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
The second, and I don't even know if we really need a motion, we put it in here just so that council is aware of that we are going out to a general call for members for our advisory committee on the environment. So it's for 2 new members. So the motion here is to support proceeding with a call for nominations for up to 2 new members to the Torbay Environment Advisory Committee. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried.
And the final motion is to accept permit listings for the year ended 2023 as attached. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Short and sweet, Your Worship. That's it.
Perfect. Excellent. Good job. All right, where we to? Admin and HR. We don't have any reports or motions?
No, but Mayor, if I may, we did have a meeting today.
Okay.
The minutes weren't certainly aren't available yet, but I just wanted to touch on the recruitment section because we do have, I just want to let council know, just 4 positions actually. Corporate Services Administrator and Capital Asset Mapping Technologist, both for corporate services, that both have been reposted and posted. So within the next 2 weeks, we'll have some more work done on that. Also, we have 1 administrative assistant with the Planning and Development Department, and we're working on getting that posted. It's supposed to be posted. And we also have a water and sewer technician with infrastructure and public works that we'll be looking at getting posted as ASAP. And the rest will be in our meetings for the next meeting coming up.
All right.
That's it.
Okay.
I have one question, that's all right. It twigged my memory, I guess, when you mentioned about the GIS and mapping person. And I'll ask if we can send it back to finance again, as finance is the person or the group that oversaw the GIS side of things as well as planning and development, but the actual employee person worked for corporate services, I do believe. Can we get an update or exactly where we are and what has been done to date? Because originally the GIS person was hired to do mapping in terms of how it relates to our asset management plan, which we haven't really had a great discussion on in, I guess, probably over a year now or more. So I'd like to know where that stands in terms of identifying the infrastructure. The other thing as well relates to part of the planning, and I know planning is working on it as well, and we probably have it within the next couple of weeks, the identification of properties affected for the Great Pond study and how that's mapped out and what we got done for that as well. So if I can just get, or we can just get a better idea where we are at date, so we know when this new person comes in, you know, what backlog is there, because I would have figured, with the exception of the person being seconded to do the mapping for the Great Pond proposal, that we would have had a substantial amount of work done now on our mapping of the infrastructure in the ground. So I would certainly like to see where we stand and that what's left to be done and get some timeline so we move that forward. Thank you.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Corporate Services. Councilor Tapper.
Okay, we had 2 committee meetings since our last public council meeting. One on the 20th of December and the other one on January 3rd. So we look at the 20th of December for the committee report first. So I'll read some of this into the record. We have a couple of motions. So under payroll, regular payroll for 53 employees for the 2-week period ended December the 7th, 2023, totaled $123,572.32. Council remuneration for 7 councillors for the 3-month period ended December the 31st, 2023, totaled $39,282.60. Fire Department honorariums for 37 firefighters for the 6-month period ended December the 31st, 2023, total $74,714.75. Accounts payable for the 2-week period ended December the 15th, 2023, invoices in the amount of $256,634.73 were processed. So we do have some invoices for council's approval. There are 6 operating invoices totaling $96,692.39. So invoice number 211949, GFL Environmental, $48,381.67. Invoice 463, H&M Paving Limited, $6,440. Invoice 24308, Municipalities Newfoundland and Labrador, $11,411.03. Invoice December the 4th, 2023, NL Power, $19,738.25. Invoice 310391A, North Atlantic, $5,451.09. Invoice 151-27714, North Atlantic, $5,271.35. I move for payment.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Carried.
So for, under motions, there is just one motion. It's for cell phone policy. The Corporate Service Committee discussed the implementation of a new cell phone policy for the town, which would first establish a policy for the town of Torbay that outlines a centralized control over the acquisition and use of cell phones by employees, defines the party responsible for the costs associated with cell phones and peripheral equipment, negates the need for municipal staff to carry 2 cell phones where approved by the CAO, sets a limit on the reimbursement to employees for using their personal device. So the motion reads, the committee recommends the adoption of the cell phone policy included as document 2A, which is included in our package. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Questions?
Question one.
Good.
And I apologize if this policy was sent around for a period of time prior and I didn't review it or respond to it. So I'm assuming it was.
As far as I know, it was.
So I won't say much then in that case, but the dollar limit for personal use phones, how did we decide on the $60 as opposed to some other dollar amount? And I'm not really concerned about the $60. 2 things. Number one is the, having it written in the policy, it's easier to refer to a table of rates and that type of thing rather than put it in the dollar amount in the policy. But why $60 limit and why not? I mean,
That's
what are costs?
for those,
$100 a month?
yeah, for those employees that have town provided cell phones.
Yeah.
That's what it's cost us, $60. So the amount is the same. So if you're going to use your personal, you're only going to get reimbursed the same as if you had an actual Torbay issued cell phone. So that's where that $60 comes from.
Okay. Thanks.
Any other question? Okay, all in favor?
Can I ask a question?
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you. What impact does this have on the current motion that exists in policy? I believe there's something around cell phones that was motioned for counselors. Does this mean now that won't happen or is not needed? Can I get some clarification on that, please?
I haven't heard very much myself about, we were going to be issued cell phones a couple of months ago. Hadn't heard anything.
Last email came out from Anne.
This one has to deal with employees,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
we're not employees.
But I know what
Yeah.
Trina is making reference to.
Right.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
we can.
I'm not
we can-
familiar with it,
counsel.
so.
We can ask Sandy to follow up with that on that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
had to do with
So
the access to
clarify,
information.
this one's specifically for staff, and the situation with council and cell phones is a separate issue that would not be covered under this policy?
That's what I'll look into.
Okay, Sandy will look into it, and if we have to make an alteration to this policy to bring everybody in line, we'll do it.
Right, so just to be clear before we vote though, I'm voting on staff only, is what I'm trying to get to, I guess.
Well, there's no reference to council in this. It just talks about the municipal staff.
Okay, so I just wanted to be clear because I knew that there was conversation about council, and I didn't know if that had impacts over there or anything to do with that. So my understanding when I take the vote is that this is based on staff alone.
At this point, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I believe there was a cell phone policy previously. So does this override a previous cell
Yeah,
phone
well-
policy?
Yes.
We do.
Should there be a motion to say that?
Well, a new policy that's adopted by council overrides anything that was already done.
I think that normally would be stated in the current policy.
Yeah, we need to have a motion.
I've never seen another cell phone policy.
and-
Not on our website.
But it may not be on the website, but I remember signing a contract with the town on cell phone policy, actually. And I still got a copy of it.
Okay. So can we
Yeah, we have to clarify that with Norm.
defer this?
Sure,
Yeah.
Okay, so until we get everything clarified?
Yep.
All right. So unanimous consent to withdraw that motion? All right. Okay.
Okay, so we'll go on to our January 3rd meeting for the committee report. So again, I'll read some into the record. For payroll, regular payroll for 59 employees for the 2-week period ended December the 21st, 2023, totaled $141,290.51. I just want to clarify first, because we just dealt with another report. This report includes a seasonal employee, so that's why the amount is increased. So on that note, if I'll make a motion to move for payment. Oh, sorry.
You can read them out first?
Jeez. Anyway, accounts payable.
I forgive you, but.
Let's get out of here. For the 2-week period ended December 29, 2023, invoices in the amount of $300,148.84 were processed. Invoices for council approval. The following 12 operating invoices totaling $376,042.13 are presented for approval. Invoice 1002, Calagro Insurance 2024 Policy Renewal, $152,681.60. December 2023 pension contributions, $25,634.34. Invoice 113023, Glendenning Golf, $6,261.16. Invoice December 13, 2023, NL Power, $20,170.32. Invoice December 2023, HAPSET for December 2023, $7,577.20. Invoice December the 1st to the 15th, Receiver General, $61,639.43. Invoice December the 16th, I'm sorry. Wait, no, I gotta get this back. Invoice 186250, Stantec, $21,144.19. Invoice 9108867, Stuart McKelvey, $14,749.34. Invoice December 31st, 2023, fireworks, $7,500. Invoice 4065192, Wolseley, Canada, $7,561.62. Invoice 4047571, Wolseley, Canada, $11,458.58. 58.
You missed the one for December 16th to the 31st.
Okay, December the 16th to the 31st, payroll remittance, 39,674.35. Thank you. So I move for payment.
Moved,
Second.
seconded. I have a question. Can we find out, is there a need for us to have to read all them out, or can we not just adopt them as presented?
My understanding is there's not necessary to read them all.
Okay. So it's not necessary to read them all out. But anyway, any questions?
I have one, and
Go ahead.
it's sort of in the weeds, but I gotta ask it anyway. The insurance policy and renewal, and not saying there has or hasn't, but can we make sure that what is covered is analyzed? And I don't mean it in a bad way. It seems obvious to say that it is, but I know from previous experience that sometimes there's places that we add on over the years that we don't necessarily identify on the insurance policy. Like it could be playgrounds, it could be upper three-corner pound for that matter, or it could be the softball field or whatever. Just make sure that everything is as is, and I'm not saying that it hasn't been done, but to just have that comfort level for confirmation purposes. And that we don't have things double counted, that there is a process in place so that we add and subtract equipment, pieces of equipment as we lose them or not use them, and things of that nature. Seems that way.
Yep. I'll follow up on that for you.
The director actually reported at our committee meeting that he did review everything that was covered, and just to make sure everything wasn't covered, or was covered, and there were a few items that weren't.
Okay.
So he added it, and, you know, it is a big number, obviously.
Appreciate that, yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
So, under committee motions, appointment of auditor.
No, you got one, capital invoice. At the bottom of that list.
Let me see.
Mayor,
Yes.
while Councillor Tapper is looking for that, could I just ask for a quick point of clarification?
Sure.
When I look at the Stuart McKelvey invoice, it says Appeal 51 North Pond Road.
Yep.
Does that cover everything to do with that appeal? Because I know it's one location. I understood there was 2 locations that had to do with that. Is that the total cost for the whole thing? Can I just ask for clarification on that, please?
I'm not sure. There is only, for 51 North Pond Road, there is only one location.
Yeah, but my understanding was that appeal was for more than one location. So I'm just curious to understand if that's the total cost for that appeal cost, is what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I know what you're saying there. Yeah, it's a good question, actually. Julia, can you?
I don't think we've received all the invoices. I'm actually looking at another one here right now. So we haven't received all the invoices yet. So we don't have a total tally yet. So probably what I might do is email Stuart McKelvey. Well, yeah, and just ask them to make sure to get all the invoices in to do with that particular appeal.
But that invoice itself should break down exactly what it covers, right? Yeah,
Yes, yeah. But what I'm saying is what's on the list right now and that council's looking at right now, that's not everything because I'm just looking at another invoice that came in.
And there's been some in the past as well.
Yeah, I don't think this is the first invoice.
No, there's a number of them already.
Could I please ask for the public record of minutes that we have it noted? This is one location that I'm aware of that had to do with that appeal. So I'm wondering if there's another way to name it so it's reflective of the appeal and not just a part of it, I guess is what I'm trying to note for the public record. If someone's going back and reading or looking, I think it's important that it reflects the entirety of what was being looked at for that appeal. If it was specific to the address, that's one thing. But if it's specific to an appeal that's broader than the address, I would just ask that it's reflected uniformly through the packages.
And Julie, you can, like I said, contact Stuart McKelvey and get a full breakdown.
I can do that, but I think what I understand Councillor Appleby to ask is that it's not to do with a specific civic address, but it's to do with the appeal
Yes.
to do with 51 North Pond Road and 7 Darrell Pie Drive.
Darrell
So
Pie Drive is
they
very
just,
solid.
that's just the way they, reference their invoices sometimes, but I can ask them for a breakdown.
But it is clear it's a single appeal. It involves two properties. but
Yes,
It is
yeah,
a single appeal.
yeah,
So
yeah.
my understanding is that the invoice would cover all, but we can clarify that.
Correct, well,
Yeah.
definitely, yes, no,
Yeah.
it covers
Yeah,
both.
and just if we could have a motion, a note in the meeting, the final meeting minutes to state what the appeal includes. They can invoice it however they feel, but I think it's important for public record that if anyone's ever looking back through in 10 years' time and if they came across it, they understand what the appeal was for.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm trying to?
Yeah, well,
I just want to make sure it's fully transparent, that's all. Thank
All right.
you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we have one capital invoice. Invoice 23161.
We're not finished with this motion, I don't think.
Yeah, we voted already.
We did?
Yep.
I don't even have, somebody motion or second it.
Ralph
No.
Ralph moved it and Tony seconded.
Okay, I didn't.
But then there was discussion,
Then there was
wasn't
discussion, then we voted, and then afterwards Trina had a question.
So it's all in favor?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
We're in the same boat, Ann.
Thank you.
it? This is the first meeting since Christmas.
Okay, Councillor Tapper, back to you, sir.
Okay, we'll get this over with. Invoice 23161, Grand Concourse Authority, 48,627.86. So moved for payment.
Second.
Moved and seconded, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried. See, you missed the opportunity that I served up to you to say, adopt that capital invoice as presented.
Okay, I got one more thing under motions. It's appointment of auditor. The Director of Corporate Services issued a request for proposals for audit service for 2022, 23, 24, and 25 fiscal years. Responses were received from Martin and Associates and Richard Power CPA. The lowest bid was received from Richard Power CPA. The bid amount was for 2022, 24,000, 2023, 25,000, 2024, 26,000, 2025, 27,000. The amount bid results in a savings of approximately 11,000 per year in audit fees. The committee recommends the awarding of the annual financial statement audit for the years 2022 to 2025 to Richard Power CPA. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, questions or comments?
I got a question, and it might be a stupid question, but I gotta ask it. Why are we just issuing a call for services for audit for 2022 now? Wouldn't that should have been ready to come through the audit for 22 and 23? So I'm asking what's happened there?
well, the previous auditor didn't complete them. So we had to go
Oh.
back and finish them.
Oh.
Yeah, that's my understanding. Again, it's unfortunate Norm's not here, but
Okay, can we, so we didn't pay the past auditor anything?
I have to clarify that. I'll have to go back to Norm.
Because I'm just wondering, it's a bit strange that that wasn't done or come forward to now, because normally sometime in 2023, we would have had the audit for 2022
That's
and
what
look
was
at
supposed
it
to happen,
and
yeah.
what have you. So here we are now.
I
This-
didn't receive an audit to sign off on.
No.
I know, but I just think that we need an explanation of what's after happening with that.
Yep.
Right?
I'll clarify that for you.
Yeah,
Can I ask a question, please?
Sure.
Is there an opportunity to defer this motion until council has more information? This is the first I've heard as well about not having an audited financial statement. My understanding is that we're required every year legally
Yeah.
by the provincial government to have that done and filed. And I don't have before me, before I could vote on this, any information about what has happened with 2022 audit, if it was paid, what was paid, or what was not complete. I'd rather have the information presented to me so I can understand what I'm voting on. If I'm voting on a motion that goes back so far as 2022 for financial auditing that I thought was done, I didn't know that we had an issue with that until this meeting.
So, to
So
that,
I think it might be prudent to ask that we defer this, have more information before we take a vote, please.
we can, but to that point, it's not gonna change the fact that we still gotta get the 2022 audit.
Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Into Councillor Appleby's comments though, I think if there was something that wasn't done for 2022, it should be put in here for a paper trail, an explanation of why it wasn't done and how come we're going back to 2022. In all fairness, because this is how things get tangly sometimes because we don't have the proper paper trail. That's just my suggestion, and I just picked up on it 2022. It's a little bit late to be looking for.
Yeah, those audits are not complete, that's why.
Yeah, I know, but it's a little bit late for us as a council to be finding out that now, and only because I picked up on 2022.
It's interesting that they didn't hold back our municipal operating grant for our audit statements not being in for 2022. Good you picked up, Mayor. I looked at that, but 2022 didn't even twig my mind. But you're right, 2022. I don't think it makes a difference to us awarding it to this CPA firm.
No.
Move it. I know in conversations I had with Norm, just casually really, he was saying that the existing auditors apparently couldn't do the audit until sometime really late in the year, so he had to jump on it to try to get a new auditor so that they could have 2023's completed in time, but I was not aware of 2022's.
Yeah,
I have some concern over that fact, but I don't think it'll change this motion in terms of awarding these, but there certainly needs to be a trail to make sure that we don't, or we understand from the previous auditors what their issue was, and make sure that if there's any money that we paid for them for work done or to be done, that we don't have to double pay for something, right?
Well, that's my point with that.
We can definitely clarify that, but you're correct in that the former auditor told us that they couldn't do it. So we had no other choice but to go out. But I don't think that affects the awarding of this contract.
The issue, if we don't award this now, is that it was stipulated in the bid that the audit of 2022 financial statements had to be completed by February 19th, 2024. So, and the audit for 2023 to finish by September 30th, 2024. So if we don't pass this now, the auditor's not gonna start working on it, and he's not gonna meet that deadline.
And he's ready to go.
He's ready to go,
Yeah.
so.
Do we have information about what's been paid for 2022's audit available to council before we take a decision?
But I don't know that it makes a difference to this motion, this point.
But it makes a difference to me voting, Mayor, because if I have an understanding of what that cost will be, if it's $24,000 for 2022 that taxpayers are paying, that's one consideration. If it's 24,000 plus that they're paying, or that we've already paid, that would be another part of consideration. I may ask for another course of action. So that's the reason why I asked for the deferral, because I don't feel I have enough information to vote.
All right, so if you want to put forward a motion to defer, you can go ahead.
I will, I'll put forward a motion asking the council defer this motion, citing that we are unaware until it's been available to us here in the package that the 2022 financial statements and audits have not been complete, and asking for more information to be available before council takes a vote on cost and price for the 2022 financial audit. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Comment? Okay.
I think for the sake of 2 more weeks, we can defer, you know. I know he might be ready to roll, but let's get it clarified.
Well, my reason for seconding this for discussion, what if we've already got half the work done with the other auditor? So that meant that the whole package don't need to be, the whole year don't need to be, they're not starting out from scratch, is what I'm looking at. And it's interesting that if I just picked up on this, then, you know, the other ramifications. So I agree with Councillor Appleby in that, you know, we need to have all of the information.
I agree with Fer as well. I don't think it's really necessary, because I think they should stand on its own. As for what work is done, I don't see any other CPA firm being in a position to be able to comment on what the other auditor has done without incurring some additional dollars as well associated with it. So I would think they would negate anything that was already done and do their own audit for
They
2022.
would, absolutely,
I
they
would
would,
think,
yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And-
Yeah,
and
they're not gonna pick up someone else's, they're gonna,
I can't see that, no.
So that'd be
Yep.
just money we're out.
if money has been spent. Yeah.
So let's defer and get an update and
All right, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Thank you.
Councillor Appleby got something to say there?
We're done.
Yeah, just further to that point, Mayor, if we have this information back from the staff and we need to have a special public meeting to address this issue, if there's a timeline for February, then we can certainly have that conversation as council as well. I think it's important to have the information before we take the vote. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay. You finished, sir?
Finally.
All right. All righty, next on the agenda, economic development and tourism. Councilor Manning.
Okay, just give me a second, please. All right, what we have here is an update. And everyone has had an opportunity to look at it there, like current initiatives, introduction of the Economic Development and Tourism Officer, and an email has been sent to all registered business owners and operators in the town, to let them know there is a new EDO in town and reach out. Any questions, concerns? And also with that email, that email refers to certainly the importance of the online business directory and that it's being updated. Tour Bay Business Awards, preparation for these awards has been initiated, and the tentative date for the awards ceremony is May 9th. So things are in the works there. And also to the webpage update, draft text being prepared to update all these sections of the webpage. And once the text has been reviewed and approved, the website will be updated accordingly. So ends the update for economic development.
All right, thank you.
Any questions, concerns?
I just have one comment. Can we make a note to ask the Economic Development Officer to reach out to Mr. Connors at the high school to discuss and plan the youth entrepreneur competition that will be coming up for 2024?
Yeah. Okay.
Because he's been contacting me, asking me when a new Economic Development Officer was gonna start.
Oh.
So that he could make contact, so it wouldn't
Yeah.
hurt if we could reach out to him.
Julia?
I will pass this along, but could you repeat, Mr. Connors at the high school for the entrepreneur
Yeah, competition,
competition amongst
Yes.
students?
business competition.
Okay, I will do.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Alrighty, history, heritage, culture, and arts.
Okay.
Deputy Mayor.
There's no motions in there, it's pretty straightforward. The cleanup for the Festival of the Trees, to begin this week, that was something that was very successful. It's too bad they didn't get the closing ceremony off on Saturday afternoon, but big thank you to everybody involved in that. I'm just going to let everybody read down. Oh, in here on January 19th was the anniversary of the Bradbury disaster, and History House is off to host a reception. So we don't know if that's going to take place. I don't know, Councillor Tapper, you know, because I know there's some discussion around.
Yeah, I was talking to one key member of the family yesterday, because there is a death in the family. Another brother has passed
Yeah.
away. So she's going to get a hold of Father Lundrigan to see if
Okay.
could be rescheduled or whatever, or go ahead. We'll see.
Yeah, very unfortunate that.
Yeah, yeah.
So if anybody got any comments or anything on there, it's all pretty well straightforward. You got anything in particular you want to add, Councillor Tapper?
No, I just want to mention that the manager, yeah, under number 4, the Mannion project. He's put together some, a document for us, and we're hopefully going to see this project go forward now, pick up some steam again, because it has been on the shelf because of the funding allocation never came through. But we're hoping to have a meeting now very soon and get this back on track and have our new CAO involved as well, so.
All right, sounds good. That's it, thank you very much.
All right.
Recreation, Community Services, Councillor Manning. What?
What did you say?
I said Recreation and Community Services, Councillor Manning.
Just so you know, infrastructure and public works didn't meet, so there's no infrastructure and public
Oh.
works report there.
That's why I skipped over.
No.
Rodney?
Okay.
What am I missing?
You're not missing anything, what are you missing?
Yes, that should be Deputy Mayor Goss, Thorne Goss.
Oh, okay, hang on.
Recreation.
Yeah, because you know what? There's nothing written there. All right, carry on.
Nothing written there. It's right what I'm on.
No, where it says oh yeah, never mind, carry on.
I think we all got the, something from over the vacation. I'm just waiting for my screen, because we didn't have a meeting, it's an update.
Okay.
So I'm just waiting for it to come up on my screen here now. It's taking a long while.
Yeah, mine is taking a long time.
Is it?
Yeah, it's just about there now.
Yeah,
Here we go.
I'm still not there. That's the first time I've had that happen. It's almost there.
Do you want me to do
minutes. 2 more minutes. Okay. The winter programs registration is ongoing for the winter events, and the various programs events offered will be found on the winter guide. Is my understanding, and I'd like for somebody to pass it along, there was supposed to be some more copies of the guide dropped off at the various locations. So Ann, would you mind following up on that? Because I think they're available. I know that the drugstore was looking at it. Facilities, federal election, representative from Election Canada reached out to the department about using the common, depending on availability, as a polling station. Rental and special event policy, that's being worked on. The Canada Summer Students Director will be submitting an application on behalf of the town for this funding support summer program. The deadline is the 10th. We have $13,500 supporting the Killy Coast Games through the Active Newfoundland funding. That was for last year. And Communities in Bloom, we've got the information there on that, so it's not much in the minutes. We have our next meeting next Tuesday.
All right, any questions on anything? Hearing none, thank you very much. All right, liaison committees, Atlantic Mayor's Congress, nothing to report. Intergovernmental affairs, we did, myself and Councillor Tapper and Councillor Pollard did attend MP Thompson's open house just before Christmas, and we did have an opportunity to have some discussion. Oh, and, I'm sorry, CAO went too. Sorry, Sandy. And we did have a chance to have a chat with her about what our priorities are. And it all boils down to water, water, water. And she understands that. And she has the package that we sent her. And hopefully in the near future, she's going to be setting up a meeting with us with some department officials from the federal government to discuss our issues around water that we're having right now. So it, I guess, was designed to be a social thing, but any opportunity you get to bend the ear of your federal MP or your provincial MHAs, you do it. So
We stole the show
I didn't-
anyway. We
I,
did.
I didn't feel bad about it at all.
We cornered her, yeah.
Yeah. So, Jackburn Regional,
No update.
no update. Northeast Avalon Joint Council.
We have a meeting on Wednesday evening,
Okay.
and we're having the election of the new executive, so we just reviewed the Constitution and that today, and we've got some changes, but I guess the requirement is for each town to have 2 members, so it would be good to have somebody else attend, seeing that I'm the chair as of Wednesday night. So I know, Councillor Tapper, you normally attend it. I will say that we're looking at, and go forward on Wednesday night to get the big emphasis is on a new treasurer, because the former treasurer resigned for various reasons. So on a go-forward basis, when we look at this, is that each town should have 2 people in attendance.
Are
And
they
they're
meeting
2
in person?
voting.
Are they meeting in person?
No,
now?
we're not.
Just virtual.
Virtual, because there's a number of people, and I guess when you look at Mayor Mike Dahl and them having to come in, that we're getting a better turnout. We asked which they would prefer, and we're not getting the uptake for in person right now.
Okay,
So this is going to be virtual again.
all right. I get all the invites, so.
Yeah, because sometimes you, I guess, acknowledge that you've got it.
I always do. So
Yeah.
it's in my calendar.
Yeah, I know. So that, when you do that, then that appears like Holly has got you in then as attending, and I'm saying, no, he's
No,
not.
no,
I know.
always chooses maybe.
I know, but that's what ends up coming up with it all, so,
Okay.
but anyway, it's just that, we do have quorum and that for Wednesday evening, but, just on a going forward basis, it'd be good to
Wednesday,
look at that.
Wednesday. This at 6 o'clock, right?
Yeah, the election of officers and that, it's at 6, and the meeting, the regular meeting starts at 6:30.
Okay, maybe I'll pop in for that one, if I can make it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you. RNC, I don't have any report. Torbay Volunteer Fire Department. Councillor Manning.
I don't have anything there right now.
Okay. I will just remind
Mayor.
everybody that we've received an invite from the fire department for their 2 events coming up for their 50th anniversary celebrations, so please, either one way or the other, accept that or don't accept it, let them know if you're coming. All right?
Mayor, can I ask a question about the RNC for a second?
Yep.
We've had emails about complaints about speeding in the community recently, and we've had the RNC down to have conversations about that. I'm wondering if it's possible to ask to put it on the agenda, to reach out to the RNC and ask that we coordinate with them and have a conversation again about how we deal with that issue in the community and policing, that kind of thing.
Yep.
It might be timely to reach out and ask and see if we can facilitate something again. Just curious to see if we could put that on the agenda for the RNC conversations, please.
I think that's already on our plate. We were gonna look at bringing them down to do a update on some of the new Highway Traffic Act changes with regards to ATVs and speeding and stuff within the town. So that is something that we've already
The MHA has also reached out to the RNC.
looking at. And I also, whenever I try and make contact with the RNC, I'll also go through the MHA, and he helps out with that and does it as well, so.
Corporal Brian Slaney, usually attends the Northeast Avalon Joint Councils, and at the
Okay.
last one, he agreed that either himself or somebody else would come down, because we were just after talking about doing something in January.
Okay.
And we brought it up then at the mayor's and deputy mayor's, the last one down in Balleen, and it's same time, which he thought was a good idea, that all of the towns could get together and do one.
Right,
So that's supposed to be happening sometime this month.
okay.
So can we get that documented and put under the agenda item, so we have it there, we know what our plan forward is, and then it's there as well for public if they're reading the minutes or the package?
Yeah, I mean, but that, Trina, that's only for one particular event. Ongoing communications with the RNC are happening all the time.
And you want to bring legislation and that
Yeah.
done too, so.
And also,
Right, but what I'm,
go ahead,
sorry, Mayor, go ahead.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, I guess what I was getting at was, if we have it on the agenda, and I know we're doing work in that space, it'd be nice to have something attached there so that people can see and read and follow the work that we're doing.
Right.
Because you and the deputy mayor just shared a number of initiatives and things that we're working on. But if someone's reading the package, they're not gonna see or reading the minutes, they're not gonna really see
Yeah,
the
yeah.
detailed work. So it would be nice to have something there like we do for, the fire department or, the UMC when we have the minutes. That's why I have the FCM minutes from the last meeting as well, just have it documented. So if anybody wanted to read that through, they can understand what we're doing in that space. And I know speeding is something that we're all experiencing and dealing with, and with icy roads now in particular is quite serious. So if we could maybe document what we're doing, having those conversations and what the plan might be,
Yeah.
and we might get more people out to participate in the events as well. So just thinking it might be good to have some of that documented there, please.
Fair enough.
Could I just ask for clarity? So there's going to be a regional public meeting?
It's something that we talked about in Ballin at our last meeting, about doing something together. That way we only got to get the RNC to come
Down
down.
once.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. If you get Flat Rock, Pooch Cove especially, anybody who drives through our community,
Right.
bring them all together, right? So,
So I'll send an email tomorrow and follow up with our group on that and see if we can come up with a date and that they would be interested in doing that. And I would imagine we'll probably be able to figure out where we're gonna do it.
Well, he'll give you a time, potentially Wednesday night, if you're going to Northeast Avalon Joint Council meeting.
Yeah.
He's usually there.
All right. Okay, thank you. Urban municipalities, I don't have any reports. Notice of motion, no. New business. Counselor Tapper.
I passed.
Counselor Pass. Hang on, where am I at here? Not sure I'm looking right at it. Counselor Pollard. Passed. Counselor Manning.
I just wanted to put out a Happy New Year wishes to all hands, council around the table and residents, and just wish everyone a healthy year and a prosperous year. That's it.
All right, sounds good, thank you. Counselor Appleby?
Mayor, I know thank you isn't on there for me, but I want to thank Councilor Manning for reading the report tonight. I've been coughing and miserable in between, so I just want to give her a shout out and say a quick thank you to her for that. I wanted to speak tonight, if I could, about Councillor Elizabeth Laurie, and she's a friend of all of us, and she's been dealing with a cancer journey, and she's been very brave about sharing that with everybody, and the town of Torbay were the first to have the We Believe sign shared across the communities. I wanted to know, there was a GoFundMe page that was put out 11 hours ago for Councillor Laurie and her family. And I'm looking at it right now, and it's called Help for Elizabeth. And in the 11 hours that it's been open, there's $38,844 raised today, with 564 donations. And when you talk about community and the impact on community and the impact of people in the community, I think this speaks very strongly for Elizabeth's work in this sector, what she's done and who she is as a person. So I've shared it myself today. I would ask that all of our colleagues and friends consider sharing the post and getting as much support we can for Elizabeth and her family as she continues her journey through cancer. And just wanted to send lots of love to her family. She's got family here in Torbay, and we're all thinking about her and sending love her way. So I just wanted to recognize the amazing contribution and community mindedness of the people who've been a part of showing our family that support today, and also to send her lots of love from myself and our colleagues around the table. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much for highlighting that. Deputy Mayor?
Just want to re-echo everything that Councillor Appleby just said. Anyway, condolences to the Bradbury family once again. They had a sudden death of Terry on, what was that, Saturday morning? Friday morning?
Probably Thursday morning.
Thursday morning? Anyway, it was whatever day the storm was.
Yeah.
So, again, that's, anyway, the timing of it all, because I had been talking to a family member as well last week, and they were just, thought it was bad enough and horrible situation, looking forward to the anniversary. Not forward, but coming up. And I also want to express condolences, send out condolences to the McGrath family. And that was another sudden death. And that's for anyone who knows. It's his wife that owns the Polish Studio just down the road, Kim. And anyway. And I'd like to thank all of the staff that was involved in the New Year's Eve fireworks, the fire department, and the seniors' dinner, and any other functions that took place since our last meeting with regards to the common staff, as well as up to the History House Museum with the Festival of Trees and any other functions that had taken place up there. And again, just to wish all of our staff Happy New Year, and council, and all of our residents. So that's it for me.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mayor, could I just mention one more point on
Go ahead.
the Bradbury family? We talked about the services, at least a schedule for the 19th. That's the 50th anniversary of the fire. But our fire department is involved with that service as well. And of course, both parishes, the Anglican Catholic parish and our History House, Noah wants to have a small reception after the service. So just to let people know, if it do go ahead, it's 10 o'clock on the 19th of January.
All right, thank you.
It is nice for as many people in the town, the town here, staff and council, to attend that if at all possible as well.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, where am I to? Forgot to do the mayor's report, which was basically just the birthdays. So here's the birthdays for January. Sarah Whitty, January 3rd, Recreation Community Services. Roxanne Waterman, January 8th, Corporate Services. Colleen Whitty, January 17th, Rec and Community Services. Jacob Hickey, January 22nd, Infrastructure and Public Works. Matt Douglas, January 25th, Recreation and Community Services. Happy birthday, everybody. Hope you have a fun, happy, and safe birthday. What else I was going to say? I want to say congratulations to Lorena Squires on opening her new business in the building where the old traditional coffee house was. And I encourage everybody to get out and support her. I had a feed from there the other night for supper. It was awesome as usual. What else I got? Anyway, I just want to say Happy New Year to everybody. Welcome back after the holidays. I know that we're a little over halfway now to our term. And I think we got a lot of good work done. And we got a lot of stuff on our agenda to try and get done over the next almost 2 years. So I want to thank staff and council for your hard work that you put in. And I'm looking forward to working with y'all for 2024. With that, did you get any Q&As coming in?
No.
No. Okay, thank you very much. Our next public council meeting will take place Monday, January 22nd, 2024. First typo, I see them. Anyway, that happens. Takes a while for you to turn that clock over. 6:30 PM right here in the town of Torbay at the town hall. And I would entertain a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, carried. Thank you very much, everybody.